This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. With the government pushing more and more towards renewable energy in an attempt to help mitigate the effects of climate change, our JCN sought to get the thoughts of the fuel industry sector for their opinions on the move towards renewable energy as opposed to diesel, oil, and liquid gas. According to Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association, Vasco Bastian, the move to renewables does not affect the gas station industry too greatly, suggesting that there is potential for adaptation.
Electric cars, I think that's where the government is headed, and a lot of people are talking about electric cars. The average battery for an electric car is probably double the cost of the car in some instances. You know, if you buy an electric car for $30,000, $40,000 and you need to replace a battery in that car, a battery might cost you $15,000 to $20,000. The average person cannot afford an electric car.
Despite seeing an opportunity for petroleum retailers to adapt to the change, Mr. Bastian feels there are still concerns about affordability when it comes to renewable energy.
But also, if you have an electric car, you have to have electric charge stations. You could always convert gas station dispensers to electric charge stations. So we still have a significant role to play, and it doesn't really, it affects us, but it doesn't affect us. I hope you understand, the general public understand what I mean. So, and it is enough for everybody to go around. Whether or not some cars continue regular engine or some go electronically, there's still enough for everybody. And then as the market is open, and we are open and we are adjustable to anything that comes our way or is thrown at us.
Outlined in the Progressive Liberal Party's Blueprint for Change is the mandate to recommit the Bahamas to a minimum reliance on renewable energy of 30% by 2030. In Prime Minister Philip Davis's New Year's message, he mentioned renewable energy as being a major priority as incoming chairman of CARICOM. The Roots Junkanoo Group is calling for the abolition of the present judging system in favor of a more objective system. This coming after the chairman of the group says they were judged poorly for countless previous parades. They are proposing a new system that even includes foreign judges with no stakes in the game. Our Destiny Johnson has more on this story.
After receiving 4th place in the Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade and 3rd place in the New Year's Day Parade, the Roots Junkanoo Group is outraged and disappointed in the results. Chairman of the group, Wendell Guts Francis, blames their loss on what he is calling a flawed judging system. In a statement earlier this week, the group notes that its members firmly believe that trained professionals, inclusive of persons from other countries, are better equipped to judge the various categories of the parade rather than regular Bahamians.
The executive board of Roots Junkanoo organization suggests the operation of the present judging system in favor of more objective system. We believe, as many of others do, that trained professionals are better able to judge the music category, choreography, art, design, form. It remains a myth that only Bahamians can judge Junkanoo. We encourage the inclusive of all professionals from North America, the Caribbean countries, nations who may have similar art forms. The inclusion of all international professionals, the media will be an added further international exposure to the culture expression we now call Junkanoo, to what would have been done in the past for our carnival parades.
While Chairman Francis is not suggesting that Bahamians cannot judge Junkanoo, he notes that everyone has their favorite group, and because of the size of the island, everyone is affiliated with some group. Roots Public Relations Director Jean Joseph, while noting the establishment of the group back in 1991 and their many accomplishments, says that for far too long, the two-group system has been pushed.
I was listening to the Tribune the other day, and when they call off the results for the New Year's parade, they totally ignored Roots coming third. They said, congratulations to one family in their first place win. The Saxons got second, and the Valley Boys managed to get a fourth. That's ludicrous. At the end of the day, the media has a very important role to play in the propagation of these ideas also, because at the end of the day, when you look at it, the media is writing history. When people go back to look for things, they're gonna search, they're gonna look at these news reports, newspaper reports, and this is what they're going to see. So I think that colleagues in the media have just as important role to play as the average person in the propagation of these ideas. Now, to speak to the music, bringing in international persons to judge the music and the art, I don't think it'll take anything away from what we do as an art form. You bring in an arranger from the United States or Canada, music is music, 5 lines, 4 spaces. They might have to get adjusted to different rhythms and how we do things, but they're gonna look at it objectively versus I've been a Valley all of my life or a Saxons all of my life.
Now Love 97 News spoke with the chairman of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, JCNP, Dion Miller, who says that the entire corporation is proud of the transparency of the judging process.
We operate a transparent process, and each and every group is involved in that process. At the beginning of each year, we ask and solicit from every group which level or which method of judging that they prefer. This year, as in years past, the groups decided that they wanted the public to judge their Junkanoo parades. 264 Bahamian men and women applied to judge this parade. Each and every single group had the opportunity to vet, and when I mean vet, I mean remove any judge that he or she felt was inappropriate to judge the Junkanoo parades. That occurred. So we started with 264 applicants, we ended up with 84. So you do the math, that those number of judges were thrown out by the groups.
All judges are made to attend a 6-week course and pass an examination by 85% or above to be approved to judge a parade. He contends that even during past parades, when judges were caught in illegal actions, they were disqualified, and it was made known to the public immediately. In addition, the JCNP allows all groups to bring in an observer into the tally room for added transparency. When asked if the JCNP is willing to bring in foreign judges for future parades, Mr. Miller had this to say.
And so if they want Bahamians, if they want Americans, if they want Trinidadians, if they want aliens to judge the parade, they have to decide that, and we go and do the job and make it work. So I sit on to say that this. Every group is involved in the process. Every group has its say. Every group has a role to play. If there's changes to be made, then at the conclusion of the year, which we're in now, those recommendations will come to the floor, and the body will vote on those recommendations on the way forward.
Roots Chairman Francis says he invites their fellow Junkanoo groups, the JCNP and the government to dialogue on the fundamental changes needed to save Junkanoo. For JCN News, I'm Destiny Johnson.
Thanks for that report, Destiny. With only 85 days until the 50th Carifta game here in Nassau, NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers has joined as a partner of the games with a $50,000 gold corporate sponsorship. During the official signing and onboarding ceremony, President of the Bahamas Association of Athletic Associations, the B3As, that's the local track and field federation, President Drumiko Archer spoke on how important it is to support the young people in the country when it comes to sports.
The track and field is perhaps the largest sport in this country that has the greatest economic impact of all sports in this country through education and through the branding of the Bahamas, as we have enjoyed perhaps the widest range of successes in track and field. And I'm proud to be able to say that. I'm equally proud to learn that NUA is so excited to become a part of what we call the greatest track and field event in the world at the junior level, the largest track and field event, Carifta. And I believe that your contribution today, you will see exponential return from this event. I'm particularly proud of Lyndon Maycock and his team, who is charged with the responsibility of us delivering perhaps the most memorable event in the 50 years of the Carifta's history.
Managing Director of NUA, Stanford Charlton, expressed his excitement for the partnership and says that this shows NUA's commitment to the shared goals and spirits of the Games.
This year, the Bahamas celebrates 50 years as an independent nation. The happy coincidence that this is Carifta Games' 50th anniversary is not lost on us at NUA. We understand the magnitude of this moment, and the weight of success, and it is important for NUA to contribute to the success. So it seemed fitting that we step up this year with a meaningful contribution to enhance the international visibility of Team Bahamas and all the other track and field athletes gathering on our shores. We believe that powerful, positive change in our countries can start with sports. We are proud to support this elite competition that both creates opportunities to showcase talented young athletes and instills the kind of discipline and cooperation that transforms communities.
The 50th Carifta Games is scheduled to be held on April 7th to the 10th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium right here in New Providence. And finally, Dr. Bernard J. Nordic was a Bahamian sprinter, gynecologist, politician, and former cabinet minister. He was born on October 23, 1945, and passed away on June 28, 2017, at the relatively young age of 71. Dr. Nordic was a positive influence and touched many lives, especially of those who lived in the Bain and Grantstown constituency. For that reason, they have sought to honor him and keep his name alive. We hear more in this next report. This coming Saturday, January 14th, residents of the Bains and Grantstown community, along with friends and family of the late Dr. Bernard J. Nordic, are invited to take part in the 3rd annual Bains and Grantstown Fun Run Walk and Health Expo, beginning at the Southern Recreation Grounds. Sean Bastian, co-chairman of the Bain and Grantstown Sporting Committee, shared details on what you can expect and how you can get involved.
We're expecting to commence immediately at 6 a.m. We anticipate 300 participants. The course is approximately 5K, which is 3.1 miles, utilizing the streets of Bains and Grantstown community. This event is in honor of Dr. Bernard J. Nordic, a former member of Parliament for the Bains and Grantstown community constituency. Dr. Nordic was very instrumental in the development of sports and was a strong advocate of the community and community development. A key feature of this event is the Health Expo, where participants will have opportunity to receive free health checkups by certified nurses at the Fleming Street Clinic.
Member of Parliament for Bains and Grantstown, Wade Watson, shared how the idea of the BJ Nordic Fun Run Walk came about as he encouraged all to support the event.
When I was a candidate seeking election in the Bains and Grantstown constituency, I wanted to do something that I believe was important for this community. And one of the things that we came up with was to memorialize Dr. Bernard Nordic for all of the good work that he has done in this constituency. I don't think we should allow him to just fade away. And this particular event basically memorializes Dr. Nordic. So I want to encourage all of his colleagues, all of his physician colleagues, all of my colleagues, members of Parliament, as well as those persons under the Ministry of National Security to come out and support this event. Again, it's free, so we're not looking for revenue from it. It's a free event, and we want persons to come out and really remember Dr. Nordic.
Dr. Nordic's widow, Mrs. Portia Nordic, was also at the press conference and is grateful to the organizers for hosting the event in honor of her late husband.
I think this is a great way to start the new year. I know that Dr. Nordic would appreciate this very much. I'd like to thank you for memorializing him and remembering him. And I know it's going to be good because you've done it. This is the 3rd time. And I support all your efforts to this regard, and I'll be right out there walking with you.
Mike Sands, president of the North American, Central American, and Caribbean Athletic Association, was a good friend of Dr. Nordic, who once competed with him in track and field and worked along with him in the local track and field federation. He said the honor is well-deserved, describing Dr. Nordic as a pioneer in many fields. Again, the 3rd annual Baines and Grantstown Fun Run Walk and Health Expo in honor of Dr. Nottage this Saturday, January 14th, beginning at 6 a.m. at the Southern Recreation Grounds. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jcn Saunders. Thanks so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.